Neto, distinguished guests, veterans, friends and families, cadets, and guests. Welcome to the 2018 Nokomis Warrior Battalion Military Ball. This event is a special opportunity to come together as a team in a formal setting to recognize both individual achievements and achievements of the Corps as a whole. In 1916, JRTC was established across the nation, and we currently have approximately 1,500 programs across our country. Our program here at Nokomis was established 24 years ago, and we are one of the 5 Army JRTC programs across the great state of Maine. The program here at Nokomis is one of the largest student-run organizations within the school, with roughly 1 out of 6 students involved with the program. We now have one of the largest JRTC programs across Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont, and we are very proud of their accomplishments. The mission of JRTC is to motivate young people to become better citizens. Please direct your attention to the Sabre team, commanded by Cadet Sergeant First Class Calvin Peck, as we welcome the graduating senior class of 2018 and the current cadet chain of command. Cadet CSM James Boyd, accompanied by Jade Witten. Cadet First Sergeant Seth Woodard, accompanied by Lauren Anderson. Cadet Second Lieutenant Connor Lambert, accompanied by Gwen Grignon. Cadet Captain Caleb Carroll, accompanied by his mother, Vicki Anderson. Cadet Captain Andrew Haining, accompanied by his grandmother. Cadet Major Alex Costedio, accompanied by Julia Stitham. Your host for the Nokomis Warrior Battalion Military Ball and Battalion Commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Alyssa Ellis, accompanied by her father. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise for the posting of the colors and the singing of the national anthem by Leah Herrick.
say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for our traditional toasts. Please take a moment to ensure your wine glasses are properly charged. The Pine Tree State. To the Warrior Nation. Warriors lead the way. Gentlemen, please seat your ladies. Just the ladies are okay. You can, yeah. You can go. Gentlemen, please be seated. It is in my distinct pleasure to now introduce the head of the Warrior Nation, Mrs. Mary Netto, an invaluable supporter of the GRTC program.
Good evening and welcome to Nokomis Regional High. I was tickled that they added this feature of toasting. I think that it's a wonderful gesture and opportunity at any event, definitely social events, to raise your glasses and acknowledge those things you're proud of and just want to share with those around you. And I was so tickled. I think that's the first time ever in my 26 years here at Nokomis that I've been able to just give a formal toast to Nokomis Regional High. So it was awesome. Thank you, cadets, for coming up with that idea. Yeah, absolutely. I think we've set a record crowd tonight for our Nokomis JROTC Military Ball, so I thank you all for coming out. I'd like to issue a particular thank you to members of our armed forces and those who have served in the armed forces. Thank you for your service. So I was getting ready tonight and thinking about what everybody wears to this and wanted to make sure I fit in, tried to clean up, but I know our ROTC cadets have earned so many honors and medals and ribbons, and so I was looking at what I have for pins, and I selected 3 that I'm particularly proud of. So on my right, I have my Block N pin, which I like for 2 reasons, because it's my initial, but it stands for Nokomis. And below it is my burgundy Nokomis pin, because here we are, burgundy and white. And on my left is my United States flag pin. This winter, we had the Winter Olympics, and I always enjoy watching that, and I've always had just a fondness for flags and find them interesting. And as I watched the opening ceremony of the Olympics, I do have to say, I think the United States has the most beautiful flag on the planet. And I want to give a big thank you to our cadets, because every day they do something that I think is very important, shows great respect and citizenship. And I think sometimes it probably goes unnoticed, but I want to be sure that all of our cadets know it's not unappreciated. Every day they take time in the morning to raise our flag, and in the evening at the end of the school day to retire our flag. For any and every school event, they are more than willing to post colors. And I think that's important, and I know there's been a lot of discussion of the flag in the last few years, but I think it's important as citizens that that symbol of our country and our patriotism for our country is strong. And so cadets, thank you. Camden said part of our ROTC is to build citizenship. We are citizens of this school, of this state, and of this country. And I'm so proud that our students have learned this lesson. Tonight, many of you are going to receive a lot of honors, but again, the things that most of the folks here who are guests don't see is what these students do every day. They're leaders, they're role models, they're good citizens, and they're good friends. Absolutely, they make our school a better place to be every day. So I can't thank you enough, cadets, for the work you do. And my final shout out goes to Colonel Clark and Sergeant Major Moulton, both veterans and now both educators. I think both noble professions. These 2 are amazing educators. They've taken this program to new heights, and they are providing our students with tremendous opportunities. And they serve as valuable role models to all of our students. So I hope both of you enjoy this evening as much. Congratulations, cadets, on the achievements and the recognition you're going to receive tonight. I'm very proud of you, and go Warriors!
Now please look at your napkin, and if you find a paper, you win the centerpiece of your glass. We will now begin the dinner portion of the evening, and I will start by having the tables cycle through the buffet line. We will start with the head table, and after that, a member of
show you some photos that perhaps you haven't seen before, and then once I'm done, we're going to transition into the awards portion of the evening. So starting off in April. Last year we did something called the Zimmerman Challenge. We've done it the past 2 years. It's coming up in 21 April. This is an event in honor of First Lieutenant Zimmerman. This is like my favorite photo, Caleb. I got like a man crush on this photo. So this is the Zimmerman Challenge. It occurs at UMaine, Orono. It's in honor of First Lieutenant Zimmerman, who was killed in 2010 in Afghanistan. This was an American who, when he was 10 years old, sent in paperwork to say, hey, I want to be a U.S. Marine. And his recruiter called home, thinking he's going to talk to some, young, strapping 18-year-old male. And the mother was like, oh, I'm sorry. That's my 10-year-old son that sent in that letter. And she said, he called, spoke to the son, and said, why don't you come and talk to us after high school? 14 years old, he sends in the letter again. Another recruiter calls home, and they said, oh, please stand off and wait till you graduate high school. So when he was 17 years old, he enlisted in the U.S. Marine Corps. He did such an exceptional job. They're like, hey, you need to be a Marine Corps officer. So he went to the Naval ROTC program at UMaine, Orono, graduated, was commissioned in 2008, and was deployed to Afghanistan. His family is always, or has been the past 2 years, at the Zimmerman Challenge. So it is a fitness challenge in memory of First Lieutenant Zimmerman, who again was killed in Afghanistan. So this is some of the cadets you see here. Leah Herrick, she was the one who sang the national anthem. She was the one who played the piano in the cafeteria. Exceptional young lady. Continue, please. And you got Meg Witten. Just scroll right on through. So this is different events that your cadets have the opportunity to participate in on 21 April. Sign them up. Sign them up. Get engaged. Have fun. Look at these smiles. Nothing but smiles going on. A little bit of pain, a little bit of hardship. But we want to feel pain for one day, because that family suffers every day. So we want your cadets to feel pain for one day, for a few hours, so they can feel some of the sacrifice that lieutenant made, that family made. So this is the Zimmerman Challenge. Nothing but joy. When you go through all these photos, please look at the smiles. There's nothing but joy on their faces because they're engaged, they're part of the program, and they're having fun. Continue, please. Okay. So that's an event on 21 April. Then we kind of transition and we have a Raiders competition. Our next competition this spring is going to be 19 May, again at UMaine, Orono. Your cadets have an opportunity to participate. 5 different events. It consists of a PT test, push-up, sit-up, 2-mile run. And you see some photos here. This year we're going to do it at the UMaine Orono campus, right on the football field. We'll be running back through the woods, back through the behind the athletic fields. This was an event actually at Herman High School, I believe. That would be Alyssa with the red hair. So they do a 1-rope bridge as well, timed event where we have 1 rope bridge and you're constructing a bridge, negotiating a 50-foot notional river. Continue. They also do a land navigation course. They do a 5K run, so like a 3-point-mile run. So they're running roughly 5 to 6 miles over the course of that competition. And that is the enemy. That was Bangor High School. So it culminates in a 5K run where you have to participate as a team, start as a team, finish as a team. So it is not an individual run. So then we did the Summit Project. Every year, for the past 4 years, we've done something called the Summit Project. Start off where we did Bigelow Mountain. So the Summit Project is an event that only Maine has. Maine is the only state that has a project like this. So what the founder did when he discovered, he's a Mainer, he said, how are we remembering those Mainers who were killed since 9/11? And the Navy SEALs do a similar program, but what has happened in the state of Maine is every service member who has fallen since 9/11, their family picks out a stone, and their initials are engraved on the stone, the dates engraved on the stone, and those are kept at the Portland MEPS in a very nice case. So if you want to do climb a mountain, if you want to do a triathlon, if you want to do the Zimmerman Challenge, and you want to check out a stone, and you want to honor the legacy of those service members who have given their lives after 9/11, you have the ability to do so. So we as a class, we make it a sophomore event. So they all participate as a sophomore. Juniors and seniors can participate as well. So they select a service member's name. They research the service member, and there's a website, and you can read many times there's videos from the families, like how they picked a stone, about their loved one. And then on that website, everyone who's ever carried the stone as part of the project must write a blog entry about what they did, what mountain they climbed, what they thought about, what they learned about, and how they're going to make sure that that individual's legacy continues, and they're nothing more than a name on a wall. They're not a name on a wall. They're a living legacy. So this was last year in May. This was Little Bigelow. I think 3 years ago, Ms. Copa was with me, and we did Big Bigelow. Bad mistake. Big Bigelow's big. Little Bigelow, smaller. So if you're a sophomore, get ready, because we thought we were scraping them off the side of the mountain when we did Big Bigelow. So you got to be ready to climb the mountain, carry the stone. At the summit, we all gather together, and each one of us shares what we learned about that service member on the summit. So you have a ceremony on the summit, and then you bring your stone back down, and then you're required to write an entry to the family so everyone can see it and learn what you learned during that experience. So it's a pretty awesome event, and we'll be doing that. You guys got to figure out when, but we're doing it in May, typically right before Memorial Day. So then we did, after school got out, we were normally able to take about 10 or 11 cadets to something called JCLC. This is the 10 that we took to Bog Brook, which is in western Maine. This is about halfway up Mount Washington. So if you got a theme, hey, we climb mountains here. So we climb mountains. So they're at halfway up Mount Washington. If you've been up there before, you're familiar with the Tuckerman's Ravine Trail. That's where we went up. So that's Josh and Jay. They also have the opportunity to spend one day on the Androscoggin River doing a canoe trip. They do one day kind of round robin. They were doing archery, land navigation, a ropes course right here where they're negotiating different events like a leadership challenge. One person's put in charge. How do you negotiate the obstacle? And then it culminates in a day-long canoe trip. And there's Josh and Jay again. Down the Androscoggin. And that's where it culminates. Having fun on the water, splashing each other. And that is on the Androscoggin. And that was the end of, say, the summer, right after school got out. So we started, I think we've done it 2 years now. So we said, hey, in New Hampshire, on 9/11, they climb all 48 4,000 footers, every one of them. And they carry the American flag, and they wave it proudly on the summit. And we were like, hey, why don't we do this? Why don't we become part of this? So this, go back, please. That is Colby Watson, his back. So I was like, Colby, he was a senior at the time, figure out how we're going to raise our nation's glory on the summit of whatever mountain we climb. So that was his project. So he came up with, he's a pretty smart guy, he came up with this like PVC pipe contraption that becomes a flagpole on the summit. And that was him carrying it the first time we did it out at MDI on Sargent Mountain, appropriately. So next slide. Then last year, we went to Tumbledown Mountain, and basically it was open to anybody. And we said, hey, who wants to climb 9/11? We're going to go up to the summit. We're going to raise the flag. We're going to salute the flag, and we're going to do this at noon, because that's when they do it in New Hampshire. And we were all squinting, because you look off in the distance. We were close to the New Hampshire border, and we're like, who can see those flags flying out on those summits over in New Hampshire? So, hey, next year, same thing. We're going to be doing it. Then in September again, we do the POW MIA ceremony. I'm not sure how long we've been doing this, but certainly we've been doing it for quite a long time. But I think it's grown to a degree. We have more attendance, and largely because the veterans organizations donated this sign right here. So we used to have a sign that just had veterans killed in Vietnam, but then we're like, hey, there's more, or missing in action since Vietnam. So we got the local veteran organizations to help us put together this sign that captures all the veterans still missing in action from Maine, from World War II, Korea War, and Vietnam. And we do a ceremony at the beginning of the school day, right in front of the school. Everyone participates, and everyone recognizes, hey, why is this a day that we pause and reflect? And then we have 2 cadets stand vigil throughout the entire school day on 15-minute rotations. The sophomore class did it. There's 2 young men, Michael and Lucas, looking pretty sharp, and they're standing at the base of the flag performing their vigil. And then at the end of the day, we lower the flag and retire the colors. Additionally, in that time frame, roughly September, we go on a canoe trip. We've done it, I believe, 3 years, possibly 3 years. It's free. Doesn't cost us anything. It's a nonprofit. And they offer tandem kayaking or canoeing, and we go on the Passadunkeg River. It's like almost a half-day event, and you learn communication. Ever try to be in a kayak with someone who you really don't like, and you're trying to go one way, they're trying to go the other, and we get to see a little bit of frustration. But they do a lot of group exercises where they all pull us together, and these are professional guides. They provide all the equipment, and it's typically done or offered to all the freshmen, and they have the ability to do this. And then we've got a color guard. So this is an example of, we do numerous color guards. This just happens to be one. A lady was writing a book about Fort Knox, and she discovered the last surviving service member who was at Fort Knox was buried in an unmarked grave. And she's standing there to the left, said, hey, why don't we find a way to fund getting him a gravestone, and let's do a formal ceremony. So they asked all the local color guards, who can provide a color guard? And all the local, it just wasn't possible. But when they called us, we asked the students, hey, do you guys want to do this? Who wants to do this? And many raised their hands, and we said, okay, we're going to do this. So we went out there, and you also see the local veterans organizations, because we can't do it unless the veterans organizations provide that support as well. So these service members right here, I remember talking to them, doing the firing squad. I mean, clearly they've served in the military. Clearly they're veterans. They've paid their dues, but they continue to pay respect. They continue to give their time in service of others. And we have veterans here today. Could you guys please stand up? The veterans here who are, or veterans in general, could you please stand up? And can we give them a round of applause? Thank you. I mean, I'm always amazed. Like, I'm a veteran now. I retired. But when I see these other veterans and the amount of time and effort that they put into continuing to serve, even though they're not in service anymore, truly amazing, truly humbling. Next slide. Okay, then we can roll into Veterans Day Parade in Bangor. It was cold. So all the large parade, we always participate in it. And you just see some pictures here where they're all with the band marching through downtown Bangor. That looks like Savannah and Nikita. And that's Alyssa Friesen. If you come across that bridge, you get hit by the wind, and it's cold. All right, then we have twice a year we go to Maine Maritime, well, 3 times a year we go to Maine Maritime Academy. Twice we go for a campus tour followed by a scuba adventure. So we try to offer this certainly to kids who think they're maybe college bound. We try to offer it to freshmen who really may not know if they're college bound, to maybe spark that interest. Hey, maybe I should kind of stay focused academically because I could do this. Because you'll listen to the admissions officer talk all about the money that these individuals are making when they graduate Maine Maritime. And it is amazing the money that they can make coming out of Maine Maritime and the job availability coming out of Maine Maritime. So after the campus tour, they teach us how to scuba dive. I mean, how many kids got to go scuba diving in high school? I know I didn't. But many of yours have the opportunity. So take advantage of it. That would be Madeline. All right, so then we got a drill team. So these individuals are like some of the most dedicated individuals we have here in Nokomis. They come in here at 6:30 in the morning. They practice for roughly an hour, and it's like a 2.5-month long season. And then they're doing other athletic events after school. So here's some different photos of their performance. And they continue to get better every year. And they continue to get better every drill competition this year. And you see him, this is, I believe, at White Mountains at the championship. So you have a combination of arm drill, unarmed drill, squad, platoon, and color guard. And they also do an inspection. They've done very well over the years. This is IDR for the cadets who've done it here in the gym. This is IDR at a drill competition. So all the schools mass together. And they're trying to pick the top cadet. This is IDR as well, with armed IDR. Ashley, collecting some hardware. All right, so every year we also do Stuff the Cupboards. So Bravo Company had it this year. So this is an effort to, basically over the last 2 years, it's kind of evolved to help stock a food pantry here at Nokomis. So previously we used to collect a lot of the food and give it to the local food pantries, which is awesome. But then we, with other faculty members, started identifying, hey, we got a need right here at Nokomis. Can we establish a food pantry here in Nokomis to cater to the students who are in need right here? So for the past 2 years, they've been doing this across the school food drive to stock the food pantry. And then we got the Giving Tree. So the Giving Tree is another effort here within the walls of Nokomis to help children who may not receive gifts for Christmas. And so they help provide gifts to well over 100 students, and this was an Alpha Company service learning project. So you see all the gifts, they get distributed to every school across the district. And that's due to thanks to many veterans organizations and all the different members of the Nokomis faculty and students. What time was this? This was December. So December, right before Christmas, we went to the Togus VA Hospital. So we've never done this before. We've raised money for them before, but this time we physically went down to the Togus VA Hospital, and we went in to sing Christmas carols. And we had Leah Herrick lined up. We got all these kids in the band now, and we were all ready to go. We got Kate Kreider, and we got all these others that can really sing. And then we got snowed out. So we had to shift the date, and we lost all our singers. And we're like, oh, this may not be good. But regardless, we got on the bus, we went down to Togus, and they sung all the traditional Christmas carols. But it was a much more rewarding experience, I believe, for our students or your students to really shake hands with the veterans, and you couldn't pay money. I mean, it was unbelievable the excitement the veterans had sitting in the hospital when you have a whole bunch of teenagers, and they were all in their dress uniform coming in to shake their hands, and for those veterans to kind of tell their story and to sing Christmas carols together. Exceptional day, and we're going to do it again. So then we transition into February for winter survival. So this is an overnight experience where they construct a primitive shelter. That's the morning after. Logan's looking tired. So the intent is for them to spend the night overnight in a primitive shelter, and we've been doing this for several years as well. They're given an MRE, and you can see some of the girls eating their MREs. They have a fire starting competition. Who can be the first one to boil? We issue them like a tin can. Who can be the first one to get their water boiling? That's Colby. Lucas, Colby, Logan. Camden's laying on his back. That would be Dylan, Hunter, Nick. These were the winners of the fire starting competition. So it was a close competition. The girls thought they had them. It was warm when it started. You notice how lightly dressed they are? It dropped down to 10 degrees. So it really did get cold, but it started off rather nice. Bunch of smiles. Nothing but smiling going on. And this is the group photo at the end, and we have 8 members of the UMaine cadre that help us out with this. So every formation, the cadet leadership said, hey, why don't we, they created this Commander's Cup, which will get awarded tonight, and they said, hey, what's one way we can, an additional criteria? And they started coming up with different formation challenges. This one here is they were all given 25 balloons. They couldn't talk. They could only use their left hand. They were given some tape, and it was who could be the one that could make the tallest structure. And the platoon sergeant was given a whistle, and that's the only way he could communicate. And Josh is blowing a kazoo, trying to tell him to make a bigger stack. That was an example of one. Some of them are physical challenges. We've done IDR, like you saw previously. We've done tug of war. Some physical challenges like this. And then we also did unified basketball in February, March. So this is largely the juniors, although we had Cade do it as well. So this is a great event where we participate within the boundaries of the school. Typically 6 to 8 games, ending in a fun tournament. Could I have any unified players please stand up? Can I give them a round of applause? Kiana's back there. Cade giving directions. Are you good at that, Cade? Okay. Cheerleaders come out to support us or support them. All right, so then the last weekend we went to Maine Maritime Academy, and we've been there, is this our third year? I think we've been there 3 years. So this is a Leadership Challenge weekend. We took 10 cadets down there this year. A year prior, we took over 20. So this is a weekend where you go down Friday, you spend the night Saturday, and you come back Sunday afternoon. And notice you have U.S. Marine Corps, U.S. Navy, U.S. Army, so it's a mixed across-service adventure. Here they're doing some physical training. Our guys are in the gray T-shirts. So it is challenging, but it is fun. It is challenging, but it is fun. Doing some basic PT. So you get there Friday, kind of get in process. You end up sleeping on the ship. If you've been to Maine Maritime, they sleep on the state of Maine. And then Saturday morning, they wake up and they do some physical training. And then all day Saturday, they kind of bounce around from station to station doing different things, whether it's looking at tactical vehicles like helicopters or wheeled vehicles. This is just some of the PT portion. They go to the marine biology lab. They get to play around with starfish. Nikita's got a starfish on her head. That's always one of our challenges. Someone's got to stick a starfish on their head. So you get to see the rotary aircraft. And they fly down from Bangor, the National Guard. They bring down tactical vehicles. They do a swim kind of survival event where they're taught how to enter the water, how to huddle up, and then how to get in a life raft. That's the life raft that they're getting into. They go into a multi-million-dollar ship simulator where the Maine Maritimers learn how to drive ships, navigate ships. Our school, for whatever reason, always wins this. They always do the best, and we're not close to the coast. This is the staff of the USS Constitution. They bring down this cannon replica, and they're taught how to go through the loading and firing sequence. And it's a timed competition, and we won that this year. Here you got different commands. James has to give the commands, and everyone else has to execute. That's all by time. So they got to pull the cannon out, pull it back in, load it, and then fire it. Here they're learning how to use pikes. So if you're in a ship in the early 1800s and you're getting boarded, there's a pike drill, and they learn how to maneuver with the pikes. And it ended with a tug-of-war competition. So we're going to try to play a video. We're not sure if this is going to work. So this is the winning tug-of-war competition where Nokomis won again. And we're going to try to play sync audio with the video here. And so we won this. Go ahead, Ashley. And it's a 4-way tug-of-war. So you got 4 teams pulling in. They call it a multi-axis tug-of-war. And we went 3 times, several minutes each time. They had to compete against 3 other college teams at one point. See James way in the back about to snap, and everyone else is just pulling. See all the cadre are screaming at him, encouraging them to win. So that's them winning right there. So there was no sad faces after that. So, like, we got all these sad faces. Why can't I go to Maine Maritime? Hey, we're going next year. So get on the bus and let's go to Maine Maritime. That was nothing but fun. That was nothing but fun. A little bit physically challenging, but you can do it if you participate and you step forward and say, hey, I want to do it. But nothing happens but a little bit of challenge and a whole lot of fun at Maine Maritime. And we want to win. We want to sweep next year. We won the most this year, but let's just sweep it next year. Let's just sweep everything. There's no reason why we can't. So what we're going to do now is, Sergeant Major's going to come forward once he off scale. And we're going to transition into the awards portion.
All right, let's do it. That's a tough act to follow. Colonel's always a tough act to follow. He always gets me fired up, so I'll try to do my best here. So let's see here. Where are we at first? Okay. All right, before we present the awards to deserving cadets, we would like to recognize two parents who have been tremendous supporters of the JRTC program. First, would Vicki Anderson please come forward? Vicki has been a huge help in many ways. She has made the trek twice as the female chaperone to New Hampshire with the drill team and the associated overnight stay on the gym floor. Ouch, that's not a good night, by the way. So, additionally, she spent a week as a nurse and female chaperone at Bog Brook Training Center for JCLC. We could not have conducted these events without her support. It's a big round of applause for Vicki, please. Next, would Andy Harding please come forward? Andy, as an EMT and glutton for punishment, has been on our numerous hikes, such as the Summit Project and 9/11 climbs. He spent the night out in the woods for our winter survival and always appreciate having world-class EMT support on hand should the need arise during these challenging events. His support has been world-class and is greatly appreciated. Thank you, Andy. We would now like to share with you a new tradition when we promote a cadet to the rank of non-commissioned officer. Would Cadet Sergeant Sam Donaldson please come forward? Sam is being promoted to the rank of Staff Sergeant. What James and Sam are getting ready to recite is a cadet creed, NCO creed.
No one is more professional than I.
No one is more professional than I.
I am a non-commissioned officer.
I am a non-commissioned officer.
A leader.
A leader.
I am proud of the Corps of non-commissioned officers.
I am proud of the Corps of non-commissioned officers.
And will at all times conduct myself
And will all times conduct myself
so as to bring credit upon the Corps and Nokomis High School
so as to bring credit upon the Corps, to Nokomis High School,
and my country, regardless of the situation
and my country, regardless of the situation
in which I find myself.
in which I find myself.
All cadets are entitled to outstanding leadership.
All cadets are entitled to outstanding leadership.
I will provide that leadership.
I will provide that leadership.
I know my cadets, and I will always place their needs above my own.
I know my cadets, and I will
never leave them uninformed. I will not forget, nor will I allow. My comrades to forget that we are professionals. Non-commissioned officers. And leaders.
Let's hear it for Sam. All right, one more time for Cadet Staff Sergeant Sam Donaldson. It is another Warrior Nation tradition to present sabers to the outgoing Cadet Battalion Commander and Cadet Battalion Command Sergeant Major in recognition of their leadership over the past year. Let's hear it for James and Alyssa, please. All right. The first award is the Commander's Award, selected by the Cadet Battalion Commander. The following cadets received the Commander's Award based on their leadership performance over the past year. Cadet Corporal Nick Pease is recipient for Let Once. Come on up, Nick. Let 2 recipient is Cadet Corporal Hunter Lovering. Cadet Sergeant First Class Calvin Peck. And Cadet Command Sergeant Major James Boyd. At this time, we'd like to recognize all the Let Ones who participate in JRTC this year. So would all Let Ones please come forward and receive their Let Service ribbons? Come on up. Let's go. All right, let's hear it for this year's Let One class. Nice job.
All right, have a seat, guys.
The Superior Cadet Award is presented to cadets with exceptional academic performance and who demonstrate tremendous potential for future leadership positions as the outstanding cadet in their respective class. Presenting these awards is Miss Mary Netto, Principal of the Warrior Battalion. Our Let 1 recipient this year is Cadet Corporal Nick Pease. Our Let 2 recipient is Cadet Sergeant First Class Megan Witten. Let 3 recipients, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Alyssa Ellis. And Let 4 recipients, Cadet Second Lieutenant Aubrey Culver. Let's have a round of applause for these outstanding cadets. The next award is for maintaining the highest grade point average by Let level. Presenting the awards is Miss Netto. The highest academic for Let 1 with a GPA average of 3.52 is Cadet Private Michaela Doherty. She's not here this evening, so we'll be putting this aside for her. Highest academics for Let 2 with a GPA average of 3.60 is Cadet Sergeant First Class Megan Witten. Highest academics for Let 3 with a GPA average of 3.45 is Cadet Lieutenant Colonel, leading from the front, Alyssa Ellis. And the highest GPA in the Corps with a GPA average of 3.60, again, Cadet Sergeant First Class Megan Witten. All right, great job. The following group of cadets receive academic wreaths for the colored backing for the wreaths for achieving honor roll or higher this academic year. Please come up to accept your wreath after your name is read. Aubrey Culver, Andrew Haining, James Boyd, Alex Castedio, Alyssa Ellis, Caleb Ross, Bo Briggs, Jaden Brooks, Leah Herrick, Calvin Peck, Manny Viara, Megan Witten, Lucas Layton, Jordan Bernard, Alexis Curtis, Marion Easton, Aaron Bean, Destiny Beasley, Ethan Buber, Savannah Davis, Jory Boyd, Josh Burnett, Brody Gray, Nick Pease, Cole Sawyer, Maddie Tardif, and Xander. I'm not even going to try your last name, Xander. Just get up here. All right, the next award is a new award called for the Zimmerman Challenge Award. The cadet leadership created this award to recognize those cadets who complete the Zimmerman Challenge. We will now recognize previous year's finishers. Please come up. Alex Castedio, Caleb Carroll, Leah Herrick, Cade Kreider, Megan Witten, James Boyd, Bo Briggs, Janelle Ward. Let's have a round of applause for these bold and brave cadets. This year's Zimmerman Challenge is 21 April, as the Colonel stated, at UMaine as discussed. Step forward and accept the challenge and help remember First Lieutenant Zimmerman's legacy. Another award the Cadet Leadership created is the Maine Maritime Academy Leadership Challenge Award. This is for completion of the MMA Leadership Challenge weekend. This is a tough, demanding weekend where cadets are challenged but get to have fun simultaneously. This year, awardees are James Boyd, Caleb Carroll, Seth O'Reilly, Aiden Harding, Nikita Robbins, Hunter Malo, Nick Pease, Janelle Ward, Cadence Richards. Additionally, would last year's challenge finishers also come forward since they were not awarded this previously? Michael Gagne, Dylan Gray, Hunter Loverling, Ashley Larry, Seth Woodard, Camden Perkins, Alex Castedio, Andrew Hanning, Michael Fletcher, Alyssa Ellis, Marion Easton, Josh Grozick, and Anna Allen. All right, one more time. No, this is it's your cue, it's winter survival. It's winter survival. Yeah. For the past 4 years, the JRC program conducted a winter survival event. The cadets form into small groups, construct primitive shelters to spend the night in the harsh Maine winter. Would all the cadets who participate in one of the winter survival events please come forward to be recognized? In honor of their participation, they are being awarded a coveted ice cube, representing what many of them turned into over the course of the night. Come on up. You done winter survival? Get up. Get your ice cube. This is a rare, rare privilege. Some lucky kids right here. Huh? It's okay. I think you and Nyla won't sweat. I think you and Nyla won't sweat. Everybody's not dressed like us. So. We spent a lot of money on this award. Nice. All right, nice job, guys. Yep. All right, we want to recognize one cadet who has participated in Winter Survival Experience for the past 4 years. He's the only cadet to ever accomplish this feat. For this feat, he will receive an item that no cadet has ever received. Can I get a drum roll, please? Would Cadet Second Lieutenant Connor Lambert please step forward? Last weekend, the Colonel and I had to climb the base of Mount Katahdin and harvested a large block of ice from Chimney Pond where the water is pure. This coveted ice block, pause for effect, represents the Iceman that he is. Iceman, acronym. I stands for incredibly resilient. C stands for courageous. E, ever vigilant. M, man's up to the cold. A, always ready. And N, a never quit attitude. Please join me in congratulating our first Iceman. All right, it's going to be tough to beat. All right, for the past 2 years, we've been taking cadets for college tours to the main maritime campus, followed by dinner in their dining facility, and then the cadets are taught how to scuba dive by MMA dive instructors. All cadets who are participating in this experience, please come forward and accept their scuba arches, please. Come on up. Where you going with that ice, Connor? All right, let's hear it for the scuba cadets. All right. The Daughters of the American Revolution Award. The cadet must be in the top 25% of JRTC academic subjects. They must demonstrate qualities of loyalty, patriotism, and leadership ability. Presenting the award is Miss Sonia Maller. The award, oh, my bad. I'll give you a chance to get up here. This year's recipient is Cadet Corporal Marion Easton. We're doing the Patriots, the Founders and Patriots of America. Next up is Daughters of the Founders and Patriots of America Award. This award is presented to a worthy cadet for demonstrating dependability and solid character, thus exemplifying the high ideals and principles which motivated and sustained our patriot ancestors. The award consists of a gold pendant. Again, presenting the award is Miss Sonia Maller. The award goes to Cadet PFC Anna Welch. Let's give it up for Anna. The Sons of the American Revolution Award for outstanding service to the JRTC program, thus exemplifying the high ideals and principles which motivated and sustained our patriot ancestors. This award is presented by Mr. Wayne Maller, and the award goes to Cadet Corporal Hunter Lovering. Let's hear it for Hunter. The Pine Tree chapter of the Retired Officers Association's Award is presented to cadets who distinguish themselves by high academic achievement within JRTC and outstanding potential for future success. Presenting the award tonight is Colonel Clark, and the award goes to Cadet PV2 Ethan Buber. All right, way to go, Ethan. The Southern Maine Chapter of Retired Officers Awards presenting to a cadet who has demonstrated leadership growth and outstanding contributions in advancing the JRTC program. Presenting the award for the Southern Maine Chapter Retired Officers Association is Colonel Clark, and the award goes to Cadet Captain Andrew Haining. Way to go, Andrew. All right, the Reserve Officer Association Award is presented for demonstrating outstanding dedication to citizenship, knowledge of civic responsibility, self-discipline, and a sound work ethic. Presenting the award again is Colonel Clark, and the award goes to Cadet First Sergeant Seth Woodard. Nice job, Seth. The Purple Heart National Leadership Award is presented to a cadet for exceptional leadership while enrolled in JRTC. Presenting the award is Colonel Clark, and the award this year goes to Cadet Sergeant First Class Megan Witten. Nicely done, Megan. The Veterans of Foreign Wars Award, Bronze and Silver. The cadets must be in good standing militarily and have demonstrated concentrated effort in JRTC subject matter. Presenting the award on behalf of the Newport VFW is Mr. Tim Vachon. The Bronze Award goes to Cadet Corporal Mike Killam. My man, Mike. And the silver award goes to Cadet Staff Sergeant Sam Donaldson. It's a long walk. Give it up, Sam. All right, the American Legion Awards for Military Excellence presented to one cadet in different levels who demonstrated outstanding qualities in leadership, discipline, character, and citizenship. Presenting these awards is Miss Kim Lander from American Legion Post 105 in Newport. The bronze award goes to Cadet Corporal Jay Brooks. The silver award goes to Cadet Major Alex Castedio. And the gold award goes to Cadet Second Lieutenant Aubrey Culver. The Veterans Leadership Award Bowl. The Veterans Leadership Award is presented to the cadet who has shown tremendous growth in leadership and demonstrated resilience in the face of adversity. Presenting the award on behalf of all veterans is Miss Kim Lander of the Newport American Legion. The cadet's name is placed on an enduring trophy, and the award goes to, this year, Cadet Command Sergeant Major James Boyd. It'll be the last time you hold it, James. It's ours. The American Legion Community Service Award is presented to the cadet who demonstrates exceptional planning, organizing, and executing community service events for the local community and broader across the state of Maine. Presenting the award again is Miss Kim Lander of the American Legion. And the award goes to Cadet Corporal Lucas Layton. Excellent job, Lucas. Good done. That's it. Thank you. The American Legion Award for Scholastic Excellence is presented to one cadet in the different levels. The cadet must be in the top 25% of his or her JRC class. Presenting these awards from the Corona American Legion is Mr. David Bolstridge. This year's bronze award goes to Cadet Corporal Aaron Bean. The silver award goes to Cadet Ashley Larry. And the gold award goes Cadet Second Lieutenant Aubrey Culver. The American Veterans Jared C. Recognition Award for diligence in the discharge of duties and the willingness to serve both God and country for the mutual benefit of all. Presenting this award is Mr. Dennis Durant. Of the AMVETS in Maine. This year's recipient is Cadet PV2 Leah Herrick. Nicely done, Leah. The Military Order of the World War's Jared C. Award of Merit is presented to the cadet who best demonstrates diligence, demonstrated military excellence, and outstanding accomplishments during the year. Presenting the award for the Military Order of the World Wars is Mr. Richard Bowden. This year's awardee is Cadet Captain Caleb Carroll. The National Sojourners Award. This award is presented to a cadet who has encouraged and demonstrated the American ideals of perseverance and hard work by deed or both, or conduct or both, and also has demonstrated potential for outstanding leadership. Again, presenting is Mr. Richard Bowden. And this year's recipient is Cadet Second Lieutenant Aiden Harding. Nice job, Aiden. The Association of the United States Army Joshua Chamberlain chapter. These awards are presented to cadets recognizing outstanding leadership and scholastic achievements. Presenting the AUSA award is Colonel Clark, and the awards go to Cadet Corporal Josh Grozick, Cadet PV2 Jory Boyd, and Cadet PV2, is that right? Cade Kreider. give them a round of applause. The Senior Army Instructor Award for Leadership. This award is presented to cadets at the different LET levels who demonstrate leadership attributes above the level of their peers. These awards are presented by Colonel Clark. The LET 1 recipient is Cadet Corporal Madeline Tardif. The LET 2 recipient is Cadet Sergeant First Class Calvin Peck. The LET 3 recipient is Cadet Command Sergeant Major James Boyd. And the LET 4 recipient, if he's back from dumping his block of ice, is Cadet Second Lieutenant Connor Lambert. There we go. Top NCO Awards, presented to the Cadet NCO for outstanding leadership to the Corps of Cadets. This award is presented by me. And this year's award proudly goes to Cadet Command Sergeant Major James Boyd. U.S. Army Recruiting Command Award is awarded for having demonstrated qualities of dependability, good character, respect for military discipline, and contributions to JRTC. Presenting the Recruiting Command Award is Sergeant Gilbrecht from the Waterville Recruiting Station. And this year's award goes to Cadet Corporal Manny Villar. This is a special award. We don't give these out often. They're usually given for something that in the military, someone's usually has to receive these for doing something outstanding, separating themselves from their peers, an act of valor or just someone who's just done something that just deserves recognition because it's way above what their peers have done. The fallen cadet received a Battalion Commendation Award in recognition of his actions when one of his peers started choking on his food during a lunch period. While others did not know what to do or were not paying attention, he sprang into action and performed the Heimlich maneuver on his peer, restoring his airway. Cadet James Ramsey was his peer who was choking. James, would you come forward to help present the award? Cadet PV2 Ashton Knight, please come forward to receive your Battalion Commendation Ribbon in recognition of your actions. Nicely done, Ashton. Each year, a cadet is recognized based on their tremendous growth as a leader from the previous year. The fallen cadet has been selected as the most improved cadet this year. Cadet Corporal Lucas Layton. Way to go, Lucas. All right, and the last individual award tonight is Cadet of the Year. This award is considered the highest award you can receive, for you have been selected by your peers. The entire Corps of Cadets voted and selected this cadet. This year's Cadet of the Year is Cadet Corporal Nick Pease. This is a legacy award. We've changed it 3 years ago. We have 3 plaques on it now. This would be the one and only time Nick gets to hold this, because it's going on our wall in the office. As part of this year's chain of command effort to continuously improve the battalion, they created a Commander's Cup, where each company would compete over the course of the year in numerous criteria such as promotions, community service, cadet challenge score, formation challenges, cadet of the month, and academic performance. It was an exceptionally close competition, with the decided event occurring this past Wednesday at formation. Even that came down to a tiebreaker. That's how close this was. It is with great pride that I get to announce the winner of the 2017-18 Commander's Cup. Is Alpha Company, led by Cadet Captain Caleb Carroll and Cadet First Sergeant Seth Woodard. The entire company is welcome to come forward to receive the cup. Come on up. You and Alpha Company, get on up here. Let's go. Come on. Very nice. Promotions. All right, the time has come to promote those cadets based on their current performance and for their demonstrated potential for future excellence. The next company and battalion level leadership is promoted at this time. The following cadets promoted to captain to serve as the Alpha Company commander. Would Cadet Sergeant First Class Megan Witten please come forward? The following cadet is promoted to captain to serve as Bravo Company commander. Would Cadet Sergeant First Class Calvin Peck please come forward? Now for battalion leadership. The following cadets laterally promoted to serve as a Battalion S3 Plans and Operations Officer. Will Cadet Major Alex Castedio please come forward? The following cadet is promoted to Sergeant Major to serve as the Battalion S3 Plans and Operations NCOIC. Will Cadet First Sergeant Seth Woodard please come forward? The following cadet is promoted to Major to serve as a Battalion Executive Officer. Will Cadet Captain Andrew Haining please come forward? The following cadet is promoted to Cadet Command Sergeant Major to serve as a Senior Non-Commissioned Officer within the Corps. Will Cadet First Sergeant Anastasia Allen please come forward? And lastly, the following cadet is promoted to Lieutenant Colonel to serve in the position of Battalion Commander. Will Cadet Command Sergeant Major James Boyd please come forward? Families are now welcome to come forward to pin on their cadets' new ranks. Families, please come forward. Group photo. Let's give a round of applause for new battalion leadership. If you give us a second, please, we're going to prepare for the official battalion change of command ceremony. We're going to hand off responsibility from the outgoing battalion commander to the incoming battalion commander. At this time, the battalion change of command will occur. The passing of the guidon is a time-honored tradition signifying the change of responsibility associated with command. In this ceremony, the battalion command sergeant major, representing the backbone of the battalion, hands the unit colors to the outgoing commander. The outgoing commander then passes the guidon to the senior Army instructor, signifying the return of the responsibility of which he was entrusted upon assuming command. The senior Army instructor then passes the guidon to the incoming commander, thus demonstrating his confidence in the commander's ability to handle the responsibility of command. Attention to orders. By authority of Cadet Lieutenant Colonel James Boyd, the undersigned assumes command of Nokomis Cadet Corps effective 31 March 2018. Signed, James Boyd, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel. The commander now passes the colors back to the command sergeant major, signifying the trust and confidence in the Corps of non-commissioned officers. Ladies and gentlemen, the senior Army instructor, Lieutenant Colonel retired Brian Clark.
All right, so what we just witnessed here was a formal change of command. It's been a fast year, Alyssa. It's been exceptionally fast. She's an exceptionally talented young lady. I don't know if you know this, she's the vice president of her student class. She was the treasurer of the Key Club. Now she's the president. She's heavily involved in athletics. I'm assuming were you a captain last year? You're going to be, I'm assuming, a captain athletically, probably in softball and soccer. She's exceptional. She's cool under fire. She's really moved the organization forward. You saw the Commander's Cup. So she set up a goal at the beginning of the year. And many times we all set up goals, and they just never come to fruition. But she kept her eye on the prize, and she always kept pushing the football forward, and it was a great year for us. James, exceptional young man. He's in the gym every morning at 6:30. And all his students respect, like if you didn't know James maybe a couple years ago, I mean, physically he's transformed his body to the man he is right now. And he's going to get bigger. He's going to get stronger. He's going to get faster. But that's due to his discipline. He's always there. He wasn't there Friday. I think it was the second time all year. It's like, where's James? But then I remember I saw you running Thursday, and I was like, well, maybe he ran. Now he's like dead. James actually ran. So maybe that's why he missed the gym on Friday. But he's an exceptional young man as well. Tremendous opportunity exists for both of you after high school. Look forward to seeing what you guys really do after high school, because this is just another step in your journey. So both of you, best of luck. They're only juniors. They're here next year, so they ain't going anywhere. So I'm going to turn it over to Alyssa.
I first off want to thank everybody for coming. This is a big event. Took a lot of planning, a lot of stress, but it finally came together, and I'm pretty pleased with how it all turned out. This year has been pretty fantastic for us as a Corps, and we've made some great improvements, I think, overall. I want to thank all my leadership that I had this year. You guys did a fantastic job, and I think you guys will continue it next year. Congratulations, James. I think you're going to do well as a battalion commander next year. I will be here as well to help guide you, but I think it will be another great year to continue to improve the program. Thank you guys all for coming, and have a great night.
First off, I'd just like to thank everyone for attending, and thank you, Alyssa, and Sergeant Major, Colonel, for giving me this opportunity to demonstrate my leadership and hopefully advance the battalion as a whole. Go Warriors!
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for retiring of the colors. On behalf of the battalion commander, this concludes the formal portion of this evening's event. Please take a moment to allow graduating seniors and the new battalion chain of command to form a line up front so you can congratulate them. Thanks again for attending. Your support of this program, these cadets, is invaluable. Have a great evening, and go Warriors!